You ever have one of those things you want to buy in life, and you're like, I don't really need this. And then the other side is like, yeah, you really need this. Yeah, well, I'm about to do one of those things, you know? There's a lot of things you could buy, right? And so I've decided to buy this. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm gonna buy this. Yep. That is a Meyers Manx dune buggy. And we're about to begin an adventure. Really wish I could have that though. Well, as they say, the devil made me do it. And I went ahead and purchased this 1969, as it was listed, VW Manx. As you can see, the previous owner has done some creative work with welding and such. So I loaded it on the tow truck and had it towed over to my buddy's car lot. Big shout out to the guys over at Premier Motors. Got over there, started tearing the car apart and looking at it. Now at this point, I don't even know if this car runs yet. I took a chance. I believe it to be a Manx. Some parts you'll see right here kind of give me indications. The bug definitely needs some cleanup. A little bit of surface rust here and there. Nice big oil cooler, sump, sorry. And the undercarriage looks pretty decent. As you can see, they hacked the hood apart here, and the toolbox or gas tank is now a toolbox, so hence the gas tank on the back of the vehicle. Get a nice look at my suspension, see a little bit more surface rust. I'll find out later in a future episode what that looks like. Behind the dash here, got some looks. A lot of this started telling me that this was a Manx. The double tubs, the tubing for wire pass through, but the Rhino coat was what concerned me a little bit. Some of this welding here, not so bueno. But hey man, these things have been chopped up and that's kind of what they look for. So I had to wait a couple days, leaving it over at my buddy's shop. It got a nice little home in the garage here on the lift, and I basically was waiting on a phone call for when Wilson could get on this project, and I got lucky the next morning, and this is what I heard in my text message. So it looks like the roll of the dice paid off. The motor started, ran pretty well off the cleaned out gas can, and just wouldn't shift at first. So we had to definitely source some parts for figuring out why it wouldn't go into gear. And it turned out that these were the culprits right here. Ordered some new parts and got on my way. Wilson and his son there hooking me up, getting some stuff going, and I got lucky for this eventual drive. All right, the buggy's home, and I have a helper. All right, so my daughter and I quickly got to work. You all know that first day of your new project, whether it's a boat, house, car, you get in there, you start stripping stuff off. So we went to work, taking out the old speakers, the old fog lights that didn't work here and there. We stripped off the mirrors that were cracked or broken, and we just kind of went to town. This is easy work. This is always the easiest work of a project, is tearing it apart. It's a little harder, as we'll find out in future episodes, putting it all back together. Over here, right here. So with the tub of death, as we call it, halfway filled, my helper cleaning up the mirrors and the windshield, we decided to take the car for a ride. And this is where we had our first problem. The shifter wouldn't go into second gear. Frankly, I could barely get it back into first to get it back to the house. Luckily, I've had a few of these VWs, and I knew it was something to do with the coupling. Got that all fixed, took her out for a ride. She wanted to stay in second gear, and as we'll find out in future episodes, this is the beginning of what turns into a massive project for me, as I will take it over to the West Coast to get some work done, and that leads to a whole nother adventure. Tune in for the next episode. We take the buggy for a ride over to the West Coast to meet the other Pete and find out exactly what's wrong with that shifter. All that and more on the next episode of The Salty Buggy.